Hi, you're listening to Oops Spoilers and Other Girls Media Production. It's me and Mal, your gal pal, and today we are here to talk about Project Hail Mary, the sci-fi movie that took the world by storm, truly. Mal, I have the blurb ready to read. I have our discussion questions, but a general overview off the top of your head, what were your thoughts on this one?
This is probably the highest rated movie I'm going to see this year. Oh, actually, Hunger Games is this year, so I'll probably rate that even higher because I rated the book really high as well. Anyway, so far it's the highest rated movie I've seen this year. It was so good. It's family friendly. I loved it. I laughed, I cried, I enjoyed it with my friends and other strangers in the theater. Like it was fun. Like such a good movie.
And you would enjoy it with your family too if they had been there. They would
Yes,
have
it is.
enjoyed it all the same.
Yeah, no, it's a family friendly movie. Like I would, and I don't say this about most movies. I would bring a middle schooler.
And there you go. So, and now to get into what this fabulous movie is that we speak so highly of. Um, IMDb, the plot summary says middle school science teacher Rylan Grace wakes up on a spaceship light years from home with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. As his memory returns, he begins to uncover his mission to solve the riddle of the mysterious substance that is causing the sun to die out. He must call on his scientific knowledge and unorthodox ideas to save everything on Earth from extinction. But an unexpected friendship means he may not have to do it alone. Boom. Mic drop. That's a fantastic blurb, also.
Yeah, no,
Like,
seriously, it really doesn't give away like much, but we
no.
will.
But we will because this is oops spoilers. And so now is the time if you just wanted to get a little taste to see what the girlies thought of it. I agree with Mel, by the way. It was fantastic. I went in totally blind, totally unprepared, and walked out amaze. So good. So if you are thinking about watching it and you haven't yet, first of all, I don't know how you haven't yet, and then second of all, um, maybe go ahead and push pause on this one. Save this to your watch later list
Yeah,
and
and
come back.
and this is one of the movies. Let me pull up. Maybe it's on here on Letterbox. This is one of the movies that they actually extended its run in the theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they extended a theatrical run. Let me see.
So that means
Um,
that if you haven't seen it yet, you might still have time, or you had extra time.
yeah, you had
And
extra time. I don't think it's still showing now, but you
ah,
did have extra. Oh, it is still showing at the
wow,
Regal. Wow. Um,
we should go
so
back.
yeah, if you well, as of this recording,
Mm-hmm.
it might not be showing by the time this is out, but no, like if you want to see it, like pause this because we're about to spoil it like crazy. I have a lot of thoughts.
All right. So now that we've given the oops spoilers battle cry, let's get into it. Um my first discussion question for us is um what do you think happens at the end of the movie? So, like at the end of the movie, to recap, we discover that he is like living with the Iridians, right? Like in their alien society, and he's like teaching the young Iridians, like because he's a teacher, so he's just teaching up in space. Do you think he goes back to Earth though?
I hope not. He shouldn't. There's nothing for him there. He should stay. I don't know, stay there. Like I hope not.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that because I'm like, I think I think it's like cute and awesome that he has his space friend and his space students, and like it seems like he has all the parts of like a pretty fulfilling life. I just wonder if after a while you would get I don't know if you would get more used to being surrounded by aliens, or if after a while you'd be like, I just want to see another human, please. Um but I think I'm okay like either way. You know, if he
Yeah.
decides to really like I'm gonna go back home, you know, I'm like, awesome, you should, and you know, what we really should talk about everything that happens because there was a lot that happened to you, sir. Um,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he has no family or friends. So what would be
yeah,
the point of going
yeah,
back? And then, sorry, he's a weirdo now. So it's not like he's gonna like no, and I don't mean this in a mean or derogatory way, but like as a human on Earth, and I see how people treat other humans that are not that are unusual. Um,
yeah.
it's not like he's gonna come back and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I want to be friends with you. I want to date you." Like it's
Wait,
part of
how is he a weirdo?
he he's been socializing with these aliens. He's gonna be awkward and like there's gonna be weird things about him. And like people, the reality is a lot of people. I'm sure there's gonna be some people who don't mind it, but like he's gonna be unusual. It's not like he's gonna be like he's not gonna having that type of experience isn't gonna make you like this normal, well-adjusted person. He's gonna have a long time of like trying to, I guess, quote unquote, get back to how he was.
Yeah, I guess I'm like, I guess I'm thinking that he could bounce back pretty quickly because he's like a full grown adult and he was in space for like not that like it's not like he grew up as a child there and was like raised by aliens. So I'm like I feel like he would still fit in pretty well with like humans and
I
like
don't think so.
normal earth and customs.
I
And
don't
I
think
feel like
so.
people I feel like people would
What?
be so excited to like meet and to, like talk to the guy who like was in space and saves the world. I feel like he'd be a celebrity.
Okay, and this goes to everything leads back to BoJack Horseman. So this goes to this concept of when you are a celebrity, or like when you like, how many people actually like him versus love him? He's gonna be, oh, I love you, man, but like, who actually likes him? Like, if you're sure he'll be a celebrity. People will be, "Oh, this is so cool. You're so awesome." But like how many people are
Yeah.
going to want to get to know him on a personal level? And like that is more of what I'm referring to. Like how many people are going to like I'm sure people are going to want to have dinner with him. I have no doubt
Mhm.
about that. But is the entire dinner just going to be, so tell us how the rock people are, like, "Oh, so what or are they going to be like actual like deep fulfilling conversations?" And to be
Mhm.
honest, I just don't see that. I don't see people wanting to actually get to know him. And I don't mean know him, but I mean like getting to know who he is and like develop like a relationship where, they're not talking about space. The first probably year and a half, maybe 2 years, all he's ever going to talk about is space. And then that's going to mess with your head. And you're going to realize people don't really, like I said, people are not going to like really want to be his friend. They just want to know about how space was.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm fine either way. I would like to believe that he would have a story to tell. He'd have, you know, like things to do. He could go back to his Earth students and it would be great. But I
Oh,
also
that's
think that like
beautiful.
I think as long as he's not like, you know, gonna lose his mind being surrounded by rock people that he can stay in space too if he wants to, you know.
Yeah.
I think also it's kind of like he like lives in a little tank almost, you know, like
Yeah.
it like looks like you have the ocean and you have the mountains or whatever. Like they set up this beautiful biosphere for him so it looks like he has the whole world to explore, but realistically it's like a little terrarium, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like that might do it for me, to be honest. Like, I feel like there's only so long that I want to live in a projection and like not actually be able to go anywhere.
And I think, oh, this is why it's good that we're both here because we have very different perspectives. I think
Mm-hmm.
if I had a meaningful life and a meaningful relationships, okay.
You wouldn't want to travel?
Um, if I had meaningful life and meaningful relationships, I think I would, but not enough to go back to home to Earth, I think. Like
Yeah.
if it were me, I would stay. Like I'd be like, all right, this is where I'm gonna retire. Like you guys figure out how to
Yeah.
bury me when I'm dead. Like that is, I would stay because, like, to me, he has. So to me, part of life is okay. Like, let's take out like being a Christian and Jesus, pretend like that doesn't exist in this world. Part of the part of life that's like super important is meaningful friendships and relationships, um, and having some sort of fulfillment. Check, check. I do not think that if he went back, he would get meaningful friendships and relationships. I think sure it's possible. It's for sure possible. I mean, another like if we think about celebrities nowadays, too, Michael Jackson. I don't know Michael Jackson's full story. I don't know his full life, but it did seem like he had meaningful relationships and friendships. I mean, and he's like just a singer. Imagine someone
Mhm.
who was in space for years, missed out on the frozen world, and then comes back, and he has all this. So I just can't. To me, I just can't fathom the majority of people treating him like a human and like not like a person on TV. Like I just can't. It's hard for me to imagine that he would have a meaningful relationship ever again. Now it's possible. Anything's possible, but like to me, the most important things are the meaningful relationship, friendships, and having some sort of life fulfillment. And he's doing that. He wants to be a teacher, and he's actually like truly teaching because remember they don't know about not oxygen, but it's another type of thing that we know about here, something about the atmosphere. Do you know remember
Mhm.
what I'm talking about? Like
Not at
their
all.
people doesn't know their people don't know about like I'll just say carbon. I can't remember the exact thing, but they don't know about it. So he actually has like a meaningful teaching. He can teach the kids, he can go and teach the scientists and like kind of explain like this is a part of the I'm not a science person. The table of content, not the table of contents. I'm a
Periodic
writer.
table.
Periodic table. Like this is on the periodic. Like he actually can teach and like people. He can see like how his impact is there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I I think he should stay. I think he
Maybe I'm
yeah.
going to take the opposite side. Maybe I'm going to say he should go home because I think he could have an impact at home with those kids. And if he doesn't have any relationships at home, he could make some, move somewhere and get some new friends. I don't know. But I think it's cute the ending that he like has his little students or whatever
Yes,
for
the ending is
for
really sweet,
the
and they're
time
excited
being.
to learn from him, which is
Yeah.
always yeah.
Um, do you think that, well, maybe I should recap this really quick. So you start the movie and we're like kind of getting flashbacks to the fact that when we start the movie, he's in space, right? And we're getting flashbacks to like, oh, the Earth is in danger. We see that he was like helping to like solve the problem, fix it, figure out what's going on. They're setting up for this mission. They're choosing who should go. And it's like other people and not Riley and Grace. And so you're like, well, he's in space now and nobody else is here. So how did that happen? And then you figure out that the like lead like scientist or whatever that's on this case is tricked him, drugged him, and put him on a rocket ship. Which
I
first of
would say
all,
she tricked him. I think Point forced him. I
yeah,
wouldn't say she tricked him. He didn't even go, maybe I will. No, no, no. He straight up said, I'm not. And she said, well, you are.
yeah, yeah. I guess I meant tricked him in that she like snuck up from behind basically and like knocked him out. Like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not
From that
really like
standpoint.
manipulated him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, oh, and we could get into that. We can talk about that all you want. My question specifically though is do you think that her decision to send him against his will was the right one? Was that the right thing to do?
Okay. This is one of my favorite moral dilemmas. And I want to say, if you're listening to this, if you are, and yeah, if you're listening to this and you're trying to contemplate like what you think too, I think so we've talked about this. I do think there is an absolute right and wrong. I don't think this type of moral dilemma, we will know the absolute right and wrong on earth. So I don't think anyone should feel like, unless you are actively doing it to someone, I don't think what you think right or wrong in this, you should feel like you're an awful, terrible person. But I love these type of moral dilemmas. Okay. So I think that I would like to think that I would have been able to somehow convince him to go up there. I
Mhm.
think that it is one of those ends justify the means type of situations. I don't from a from a standpoint of like everybody should be in charge of their own body and like you have your personal autonomy. It was not right. from a we have got to save the world. You are literally, I think they did a good job establishing like he is literally the only person. There is no one else. If he does
Mhm.
not go, it does not happen. The world ends. Well, the earth ends. If he does not go and he does
Yeah.
not want to go. So from a standpoint of like this has to be done, she did what had to be done. I like to think that I would be able to convince him and I wouldn't do that. And I think that like that's probably the like not making him do it is probably the right thing. But then everybody died. Like I said, they did a really good job explaining like everybody dies. So it's
Mhm.
like, and then at the end of the day, it worked out because he was able to get the information that they needed. It was years later, and the world was already kind of started to freeze. But they got the information that the world needed. So I think it was like a tough call. Um, I think in the book she went to jail or something like that for that.
Which she
As she
probably should.
should. Yeah,
Yeah.
as she should. Like that for sure. Like I think there should be some sort of consequence. Um, because at the end of the day, like you can't do that to people. But then at the same time, like the outcome was good. It's
Yeah.
hard. That's a tough one. What do you
It
think?
it is a toughie. I mean, ignoring the fact that I don't believe that it was not possible to train another scientist. Like, the world is full of scientists, brilliant minds, child prodigies. Like, the kind of the starting premise of like you're the only one, I feel like is like, there's probably somebody else. I don't
Yeah.
exactly remember how they set it up in the movie, but like we'll just accept the assumption that it truly like, whatever. There's not time to get somebody else, like
That was the
everyone.
thing, like,
Yeah.
it would take months to
Yeah.
get someone else, and they had to leave, like, right then. It would take months to get someone else, and it would take months for them to have that opening to go do it. Like, it had to be done, so it's like,
Yeah. I just feel like
there's
it,
always
are we
another
sure there's not a way that we can delay it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if it's like, do we drug and send a non-consenting man into space, or do we take an extra 2 weeks? My cat is rubbing on my computer. Do we take an extra 2 weeks to like speed? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like
Yeah.
the rest of this process, we were like, well, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. Like it's impossible, but we got to do it anyway. Um, and I kind of feel like we could have had that attitude with like training a new replacement. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like regardless, we're gonna say he's the only one that can do it. And he doesn't want to do it. I feel like I would be like the right thing to do was probably to say like, okay, like I understand like we're in a huge rush, of course, but like we figured it out once. If there's some kind of window that's about to pass, we can figure it out again. And let's just like let's take a week. Cuz she kind of like asks him, presents it, and it's like that same afternoon that he's like, "No, I can't do it," right? Like he doesn't
Yeah,
really take a ton of time to think about it.
I think it's like, she says it, there's some time, not a lot of time, I think less than a week. And then he goes to her office and he's like, I decided I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, too bad. Stabs him with or the
Yeah.
people come in to like drug him. And it's sad because he thought of her as a friend, which, you know how I feel about thinking your coworkers are your friends. But she thought of him as a friend, so I felt bad. And in the movie, Kara was like, I think she loves him. I'm like, girl. And then that happened, and I'm like, told you.
He does not love him.
Yeah. She's like, maybe they're falling in love. That's not a woman falling in love. It's a woman falling in
Oh,
power.
oh, see, I kind of saw like she was opening up to him, like I saw that there was some potential there. I thought the same thing. So,
Not for a moment. There was never a moment. That that doesn't that's crazy. Never for a moment did I think that she was falling for him.
I think she's just a different kind of woman than you though. Like I could see where she was like
No.
there was a thing, there was
If
something.
you cared about someone, even remotely, you would not stab them, drug
Oh.
them to take them to their, like, their death. Oh, that duh. That was the other thing too that, we forgot to mention this. So, what was also so crazy is, like, it's not like it's a, you'll leave and come back thing. It's a, you'll leave and, like, you're going to die in that thing because they didn't have enough, um, like,
Astrophage?
power to the stuff that they needed to get them back to Earth. So the reason why everybody was so like so crazy about the mission and like he didn't want to do it is because like you were signing up for death. Like it was the end
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah.
And then Rocky so happened to have the extra stuff on his ship for him to be able to go home and then, ultimately he chose to save Rocky and not go home. So
True. Yeah. Well, I was saying that I thought maybe they were falling in love potentially before the stabbing of the injection and the drugging. Like before that point was when I thought maybe they like had a thing going. After
never
that
once.
point, I was like she's focused on the mission, you know. And
I
maybe
thought
she
that
could
that
have
whole
cared about
time.
him, but the mission comes first.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, no. There was nothing about her that cared
uh
about him other than what he could do for her. Let me back up. I think she cared about him in the sense of like you care about your coworkers. Obviously, you don't want your well, of you don't want your coworkers to die. She didn't care, but like she didn't care. She literally sent him up there. The average person does not want their coworker to die. You want your coworker to be happy and live a thriving life. I think she cared about him from that aspect up until a point, but I don't think she cared about him in the sense of like yeah, I love him and I hope he lives this beautiful magical life and let's be friends forever. I don't think she felt that way. I think that when you are so like something like that, you have to be so one-minded that those things don't even cross your mind. Even
yeah.
in the wonderful insert of Sign of the Times, Harry Styles' best song, even in that, like that didn't feel like I think it was supposed to feel like sensual, and maybe it's just the actress, but I did not feel
Oh, I don't think it was supposed to be sensual.
okay, good because I didn't feel that at all.
No. It's
That's
like
when Karen
emotional.
whispered she loves him, and I was like,
Oh.
no.
It's because she was making eye contact with him and she was like trying to communicate with him, you know?
She was trying to
Like,
communicate with him like, "This is it, buddy. Like, I'm going to betray you subconsciously. I'm going to betray you." She's like looking in his eyes. No, I'm just joking.
well, and also they'd had a conversation before that about her like not bonding with the crew or like, you know,
Yeah,
like keeping herself removed. And so I feel like
and
there,
that's why she did it. I think.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I have to stick with what like I know is right, like on an individual level, and be like, there's no guarantee also that if you like literally kidnap somebody and send them away from their house, that they're gonna do anything that you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
That too,
he,
and he could have died just like the other scientists died, like for all they
right,
know, and then the whole thing doesn't even matter. Yeah,
right. So I think I would be like, we will figure out a way to make you at least somewhat okay with this. Because the other thing is, I don't feel like it would have been that hard to convince him. Like he was a like. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He's been helping with this mission. He wants it to succeed. He has a strong motivation to see it succeed as a human who lives on Earth. You know, like
But I
I
think,
think it would be like I think he'd get there, you know, like
yeah,
give him 2 days, you
yeah,
know?
I would like to think he would get there too, but I do understand, like, death is
Yeah.
permanent. I can see someone who's very logical and, um, I don't think he was religious, so I can see him wanting to preserve his life, even if his life sucks. I definitely see him wanting to preserve his life,
Yeah.
because death is permanent. So I can see like him hesitating, but I like to think that I'd be able to convince. Like I can't imagine
You
doing
could
what she
fix him.
did. I can't imagine doing what she did, though I know why she did it.
Yeah.
And like unfortunately slash fortunately it worked out. So that's the other part of it too. That's like, I mean, it ended happily. So are we supposed to? But it's like as I do think it was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Um yeah. So anyway, my
It was a
other
good plot
question,
oh, sorry, I wanna say it was a really good
yeah.
plot twist. I thought like,
Yeah.
that was, like I think I gasped, like, when it happened. It was a really good plot twist.
Yeah, I feel like I there was potential that I did the same. Um so for the other question that I have, why do you think humans write books set in space? Like, what
Oh,
is it?
that's a really random question. Um,
Why do you, or like write books that then turn into movies? Why space?
Probably the same reason people write about the ocean. Well, I just think because there's so many possibilities, there's so much potential there, and like you
Mhm.
can be as creative as you want. Which I've been trying to figure out how to talk about this aspect of the movie, so I'll just go ahead and insert it here. I thought the design for the alien was really, really good. Whenever we think of
Mhm.
aliens, we always think of the grays, and I think that we always imagine they're going to be humanoid, just like us, and like there is an aspect of that if we the aliens that we would probably potentially see would probably be more humanoid like us because they probably would need the same atmosphere, the same conditions that we live in if they're going to come here. So that would make a lot of sense. But I really liked that Rocky was like, he literally was just like a big rock, which is also why I was not going to watch it. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, this looks so corny, lame. And then one of our mutual friends could not stop talking about it, and she could not stop talking about it, and she could not stop going to go see it. And I was like, okay, if it's this is her like seventh watch, maybe
Yeah.
I'll give this thing a shot. Maybe I'll go ahead and see this. I
So
got my
sorry, Mike.
oh,
I'm
you see your
sorry.
cat.
Yes, she's causing chaos. Stop it. Continue.
um I'm like, you know what? She can't stop watching this. I have the unlimited pass. Let me just go ahead and see this movie. If it's let's see if it's so great. And it really was. So I do think that like one of the reasons why space is so explored is because like we just don't know, and we there's possibilities of it of so many things, so many possibilities. And I think it just makes for great creative writing exercise, really.
Yeah. I do think that it has a lot to do with the like um yeah, it's not quite as like limited because people don't really know what to expect in space. You can like flex, and it also like I mean just living in space is like kind of a moment by moment thing, like at any
Yeah.
moment you could lose oxygen and die, and so like it
Yeah.
it makes it easy to like have those kinds of challenges like in a story. And then also um I feel like it's like exciting, it's like it's one of those places like you said, like the ocean, like one of those places in our world that is like close but out of reach. And so people have like a natural curiosity about it. Um yeah, and I think for the most part like the ocean to me like represents secrets, like it
Mm.
represents like something like mysterious but also like a little bit ominous but beautiful. And like space to me is like the unknown, like
Yeah.
kind of the same genre, different font, like
Yes. You even saying that, and I love the ocean. Like I am a water girly through and through. But you making that comparison, when I think of space, I do think of like out there hope,
Mhm.
possibilities. When I do think of the ocean, I do kind of think of like a little bit more ominous, like a little bit more like we just don't know. And we don't know for both, but like we don't know versus ooh, we don't know.
Yeah. And like I can't tell you which one would like I think is cooler or like scares me more, of like deep
Yeah.
sea expedition versus like outer space. Like they're both scary and like
Yeah.
definitely have some threats, but I think it's like yeah, I think it's like yeah, I mean like to quote the great Star Wars, it's like you're my only hope, you know.
And
I've yet to see a movie where something in the ocean is our only hope.
I was just about to say, now that I'm talking about it, like, is this propaganda? Okay, when we think of aliens in space, a lot of movies about space are really like hopeful and like they're really like, okay, anything's possible. When we think about the ocean, a lot of the movies are like, oh, big scary thing at the bottom. Like, it's not really like we don't when even like thinking about like movies about space, it's like we're gonna go to space and we'll find the cure for cancer. And when you think about the ocean, it's like cancer was created in the ocean. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's
Stop.
like this different, and it's because of like the movies, TV shows, and like,
Yeah.
what you calls it, the books we've read. We have been groomed to think space is great and hopeful, and the ocean is this like thing to be afraid of. Now, what if it's different? What if
Mm.
it's supposed to be the opposite? And that is your conspiracy theory moment for the week.
I was gonna say not this becoming a conspiracy theory. Oh
No,
my gosh, that's
just
so
no,
funny.
I'm just saying. I just like, it
No.
just clicked to me though,
Yeah.
like even as I was saying that, I do like the ocean, but I do feel like a sense of not dread, but like even thinking about those people. Why? Okay, so now that I think about it, maybe also it's because it's more accessible. Now I'm like
Yeah.
I'm conspiracizing my conspiracy theory. Maybe it's because the ocean is more accessible. Because I'm even thinking about those cave divers. You've heard about the cave divers that recently, in I believe it was Italy.
I know. I don't think I have.
So recently it was like this group of like Italian, I want to say they were Italian, people who go into the water like with the scuba gear and they went into like a cave and none of them came out.
Ugh.
And it's like really like ominous because they were experienced, but they only have had training to a certain level. But for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they went past that level in gear that was not suitable for that level. So like the
Mm.
average person, if they really, really wanted to, the average everyday person could get the training. Oh, you also have to be approved to go on these things. So it's hard, but it's a lot more accessible than like going to space. So maybe
Right.
that's why we have more you know, more
It's
caution. Like we know more about it. Because maybe if we all could go to space, if we worked hard enough, and we all could go to space, then like we probably would have a same type of caution because there'd be more accidents and stuff like that too. Well,
yeah.
and that's how you unconspiratize yourself.
That's how you bring it back to earth, folks.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Uh, um, those were most of the questions that I found that I thought were interesting. Do you want to get into our review of the like plot rubric or
Yes. Oh,
okay.
what was the other option? Sorry.
I just didn't know if you had anything else that you that you needed to get off your chest. Anything else that you needed to tell the people.
No, and if I did, I'll probably go through it over the when we go through our rubric.
Slay. Okay. Cool. So, what did you have for plot?
I have a 4 for plot. I thought that the plot, so like the overall premise of the science thing, like is not for me. Like I'm not like a sciencey person, but I did think they did a really good job. And once again, not a sciencey person, but I do think that there was a decent job of like explaining what the problem was and what the goal was. A lot of times in movies like this, they're saying all the science jargon and they're expecting you to already know or to have your encyclopedia out while you're watching the movie. And I think they did a really good job making it digestible for like the average just not science person. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really good about the plot. And then I thought it was like kind of also unique. The son's going to die. I've never seen a movie like that before, so I it was a 4 because it's not necessarily my type of plot, but I thought it was done well.
Mhm. Why is it not your type of plot?
I don't know. I don't really. That's not. I don't know. I don't. That and war movies, I'm not really interested. Like I'm not science or war movies type interested. Like to me, it was a
Gotcha.
space movie, also science. Um,
Mhm.
and if it was just a space movie, I probably would have given it like a 4.5.
Yeah.
But the science thrown in there, well, that kind of knocked it down a little bit.
See, the science, I feel like the science makes it so much more interesting. Honestly,
You're
I
also a
don't
science
really,
person.
yeah, I just don't really, I think like science movies that don't, or space movies that don't have science in it, I'm like, okay, this is low key just fantasy with like more glowing lights, you
And that's what I
know?
like. Yeah, don't I love it. So there's like in the very last episode with the Peter Capaldi Doctor Who, when they
Mhm.
do when they get to the center or like they said the further you go down to the black hole, the slower time or something like that. And I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, interesting. I was telling somebody that, and they're like, actually, like in real life is the exact opposite. Like, I'm like, you know what? That's fun. Like, make it up. Who cares? Like,
You know, do what you gotta do. Do what
yeah,
you
yeah. Doctor Who's actually a perfect example of that. Some of the science in there people say is just like impossible.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, if you can make it work, because I'm like all about Doctor Who, and so it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be real science. It's like cool if it is, but Ryan Gosling does not know how to balance a centrifuge, so that's not real science either, technically. Um,
Okay. I don't
yeah.
even fully know what you're saying.
There's like a I don't know if I can explain it to you to where it would make sense. There's like a
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, the girls who know
Yeah.
centrifuge was not balanced, and that's science 101. Like, there ain't no way that that brother would be putting a centrifuge tube in a non-balanced position. That's all I'll say on that.
Okay.
Um, so
I haven't taken
anyway,
science since high school. I didn't have to take science in college, so I don't know.
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in. One day I'll find you can come visit me at work and I'll show you the centrifuge and balanced versus unbalanced. It's a science in and of itself. Anyway, entertainment. What did you Oh, let me give my plot score. I
Yeah.
also said 4. I got excited, man. I got excited about the centrifuge and moved on. Um I said 4. I said 4 because I there was some parts of the plot that I didn't feel like necessarily made sense.
Ooh, like what?
Like I felt like it was weird. Um, the part where he's like whatever writing back to Earth or whatever, like Strat gets his like messages and he's like good one, ha ha ha, and like kind of making a joke out of the situation, almost, like not mad at her at all. I was like, I feel like that's a little unrealistic, like even if you could like understand why she did what she did and it like made sense, and you were like glad that you came because you like figured it out and you saved Rocky and you saved all of these other alien populations, like even if you were like, I understand why. I don't feel like you would be like, hey girl, here's the answer to all your problems. I you believed in me and you were right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it
Yeah.
just felt odd to me.
I
Really,
can
that was
see
really it.
I can see having a moment feeling that way though. I can see, especially because like you saved Earth, like you saved all these people. I'm sure that's like a high that most of us will never, well, like realistically, I don't think any of us will ever feel the high of saving the world. So I can see like having that in a moment, but I do agree, like I don't think every waking moment he's like, huh, this turned out great. Like I agree with you on that.
Well, and also, like, I feel like even when he first remembered, like, what happened, because he's like on the ship, he has amnesia, like, can't remember how he got there or whatever, like, and eventually he, like, remembers that he was literally forced onto this ship. I don't feel like we saw any anger from him at all. Like, I don't feel like I remember a moment of him being
Yeah.
like
Well,
at
that's
all
true.
enraged by the fact that he was literally trapped and sentenced to death, and like
Yeah.
did not agree to do that whatsoever at all. I feel like there needed to be some kind of moment. Like he needed to go through the grief process, of realizing
Yeah.
that he was going to die on this ship and it wasn't even his choice. Like
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that was the right way that would have gone down.
Maybe
But
that's why they had him forget. So like they wouldn't have to go through that.
well, but then
Maybe.
when
But then
he
he
remembers,
remembered.
right. So
But
that's
I
what I'm
feel like
saying.
by the time he remembered he had made peace. But I guess you would still be angry even if you made peace.
Right, like, that's still an
Yeah.
infuriating thing, you know what I'm
I'm just
saying?
trying to
Like,
think like why he wouldn't have them go through those stages of grief.
I think they just
I don't
didn't
know.
think about it or they didn't have time or I
So they
don't like
certainly that's another thing too we haven't mentioned. This movie is one second. It is a long one. It is like 3 hours.
Is it really?
Um, it is it's 156 minutes. So you're gonna be there for a minute. It's good,
Yeah,
but
2.5 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna be there for a minute.
So it's a lock in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eat your snacks. Maybe you could watch this since now it's just about out of theaters. Coming up soon, it will no longer be in theaters. Get you some snacks, sit down on your couch. You can take your bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. So, entertainment, what did you put?
I put a 4. Um, I thought it was very entertaining, and like I mentioned, it wasn't too sciency that like the average person couldn't understand it. Um, and I think that like though it was 2.5 hours, I was locked in. There were 1 or 2 moments where I was kind of like, all right, can one more thing happen to this guy? Like, let's wrap this up. But it wasn't like in a negative. It was just more of like oh, this movie is long. Like not in like I don't want it to sound like it was a negative. It was just like, oh, I'm noticing time. The passage of time. I'm noticing the passage of time, but it was still entertaining. I think the main reason why I couldn't give it a 5 is because I didn't think it was like perfect. Because I did notice there was a passing of time, but I don't.
Mm,
Once again, not in a negative way because I really, really liked the movie.
yeah. I gave it a 5. I thought that it was very entertaining. It kept my attention. I don't feel like I was aware of the passing of time. So maybe this one's for the girlies in STEM, and then
Yeah. Oh, for
also
sure.
the girlies who can appreciate STEM material such as space.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I said 5, you said 4. What about themes and depth?
For themes and depth, I actually gave it a 5. I thought the themes and the depth of this movie was near perfect. You mentioning how not going through the stages of grief almost puts it down to like a 4.7, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still gonna keep it at a 5. Because that is, I will say that is a thing that I didn't even think of, but I think you were correct in that. But other than that, I think the themes were great. I loved that him and Rocky were able. I mean, they could not communicate at first. They don't even speak the same language.
Yeah.
Essentially, like it. It is fascinating. Like he doesn't have a mouth. He doesn't have eyes. What he has, the rock alien thing, is just like he can make sounds on his body and do this, and then he converts the sound waves the through the computer, and then he makes like this thing that like the way he talks and everything, which was fascinating, very fascinating. And I think that the fact that they can develop a friendship and a true love, like they love each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's non-sexual. They love each other at life, biblical, literally lay down your life for your brother, like they both, which I just it was so good. I think that is like a beautiful theme of like differences and coming together for a cause,
Mm-hmm.
and sacrificing yourself for someone if you care about them. I thought that was good. I 5 for theme and depth.
Yeah. I
What you
put 5 for themes in depth too. Just because I do think there's like lots of questions to discuss, of
Yeah.
like, what would
Morality,
you
really.
do in this? Right, exactly. What would you do in this situation? What would that be like to be in space, and like, who would you become? What would you sacrifice? Yeah, like, I mean, even the part where, like you said, Ryan Gosling, Ryland Grace gets the fuel to go back to Earth. And he does, and he's like, "Yay, I got the thing. I'm going home. Woo!" And then he realizes that Rocky is in danger, the alien that he befriended while he was in space. And I was like, and he decided to go back for him versus going to Earth, and it's like, wow, what would you do in that situation? It's a tough one. And I
And
do feel like we got to see some of the grief in that scenario where, like he had resigned himself, he didn't have hope, and then all of a sudden he did, and then like he gave that up to go and save Rocky, like that's truly profound. Um
yeah, And I will say they did a good job. I was not sure, personally, I was not sure which one he was going to choose, whether he was going to save Rocky or go back.
Yeah.
Especially because he thought he was never going to go back, and then Rocky's like, "Oh, I can help you go back." And then
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, but I thought you said," he was like, "I was just coping." That was funny. Like there's so many funny moments.
Yeah.
So I thought that was done well too. Like you're sacrificing for your friend and like how important that is, and
Mhm.
that's what love is.
Yeah.
Love is
And
love.
I mean, like, yeah, like you just said about like that little funny moment or whatever. I was just thinking about the fact I was like Ryan Gosling really carried this whole movie on his back. I mean, like 85% of it is just him and a puppet, a rock puppet, you
That is
know?
a good point. Yeah, I
Like
completely forgot. Yeah.
and he takes us through the full spectrum of human emotion, you know, like
Yeah.
he didn't have anybody to really play off of, you know, it's pretty much just him. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's he's a great actor. Like
Yes,
as I get older, I become more and more of a Ryan Gosling
me
fan.
too.
Like,
And an actor is a good actor when they become the character. And I do feel like I wasn't as at the beginning I was aware that we were watching Ryan Gosling, Ken,
mhm.
um, I was aware of that, but by the end, I completely forgot it was Ryan Gosling, and I
Yeah.
that is the sign of a good actor, right? I hope he gets awards for it. I think this is the type of movie that does get awards because there are certain movies that like can be amazing and they're just not going to get awards.
Yeah.
I think this will get awards. I mean, he did this fantastically.
Yeah, I think so and I hope so too. Um Spice, I gave it a 5.
Same. There is no
Yeah.
spice. Take your kids. There is no spice.
It's literally him and a rock alien, and like Mallory said, it is non-sexual,
Yeah,
so
very platonic. Like it's
yeah,
beautiful.
totally safe, and
Yeah.
no emotional risk in that regard
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, language, also gave it a 5, but
No. Yeah. It was like no cursing. When we
yeah,
did confirm to look it up, I think he says freaking, but like
yeah,
we got
he
you know
curses
how kids in
he
kids
curses like a
movies.
middle school teacher, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
made up
Which I
words.
think it's great.
Yeah, I agree with what you said also, by the way, about like him becoming the character. Like he is Rylan Grace, you know,
Yeah.
like it's so synonymous. And then yeah, so just a really good movie. But let's see, my score came out to a 4.8. What did yours? Did you
Mine's a 4.6. Let's do
okay.
4.7 as a TOG type thing.
Okay. Somehow I was like trying to add it up and do like the do the calculation and somehow I got 7.2. Um
No, that
4.7. Yep.
yeah,
We're at a
4.7.
4.7 folks, so you heard it here first. Not 7.2 yet. But all right. Well, did you have any other parting closing thoughts before we let the people go?
Let me see what I wrote on my letterbox.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a movie that is a definition of fun for the whole family. I laughed, I cried, I contemplated existence. It was great. I truly highly recommend. Highly,
Mhm.
highly recommend. I think this is yeah, I just highly recommend it. I think everybody should see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go and watch it if you're ever thinking about exploring space when you're rich and famous.
Yeah.
So
Right now, unlike the ocean, it's not really accessible. So
it's just a matter of time, folks. It's just a
yeah.
matter of time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we could sit here all day and talk about space and aliens and Ryan Gosling, but oops, spoilers. See y'all.
Bye.